I just thought I'd show you what I'm doing. I'm making grape bags, or bags, sort of mesh bags, to protect my grapes from the birds who are now trying to eat them as they're going ripe. What I'm making these bags out of is actually the leftover offcuts from the marquee. So I made that marquee. I got the enviromesh from Mitre 10, our local big box store, and it's 4 meters wide, so I can't remember quite how much I needed in the end, but because there was a bunch of triangles and obviously things that I needed to cut, there was some left over, and that's what I'm making these bags out of. So the first stage in the process is to cut out the mesh bags. I basically made long strips. I folded over a piece and then I cut all the way up the side, and then I sort of cut it into chunks, which gave me these sort of fold over mesh sort of book covers, if you like. So they're essentially roughly about 11 inches tall, and they're about 8 inches across. And the next process then is to open them out, fold over the tops, and sew while encasing string. So this is what I'm doing here. I have the string on the ground, and then as I am sewing them along, I don't know if you can see, I just basically sew one and then sew another one. And then in between, they're sort of still connected by the cotton thread. But when I get to join in a new one, I pull the string out to make a loop. Hopefully you can see it on there. Pull the string out to make a loop so that when I cut them apart, there is essentially a bag with a piece of string either end. So that's what's down here, essentially. A long stream of bags that have a loop at either end, but they are still connected with the thread because I don't cut threads in between. I basically cut the string loops and obviously the threads attaching these sort of little flag pieces, knot either end, fold them in half and put them on that pile. They are now ready for the overlocking. What I do with the overlocking is I basically just zoom up the bottoms and then join in another one, bottoms, 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 all the way along. And then I make a whole sort of line of flags of bottoms, if you like. And then I again cut in between, and the only next job then is to individually on each bag overlock up the sides, and then I sort of veer away when I get to the string so that the string is freed. Then I just turn them inside out and I have the finished product. And here you can see the finished product. So I've already put a few on the grapevine. So far I've done 17 or 18, and they didn't go very far at all. I still have heaps and heaps more grapes. I don't know if you can see, there are bunches everywhere all the way through, and they are starting to turn. You can see up there, that one is starting to turn. And as they start to go red, the birds get to them. So I am on a race now to cover up these grapes before the birds get them. Weirdly enough, it seems to be that they've started to ripen at this end, and then as I go further down the grapevine, further to where it goes into, actually goes into the soil down there. These grapes aren't as mature, although saying that, that one there is turning. So I better get inside and make some more bags, hadn't I? So hopefully these should last quite a number of years. The marquee is certainly wearing really, really well. And I've sort of made it with the same type of thing, the mesh and normal sewing thread. So hopefully it'll last a long time. But I just thought I would show you some of the other sewing that I do, essentially, because you know, I'm always making things that I need. If I have the materials or can find the materials and I can do it myself, why not? So these bags have essentially cost me nothing. I had the mesh anyway, offcuts. I'm using a really old spool of thread, which again, I originally got in a charity shop. I think it's not one of these modern sort of brands. It's doing the job wonderfully, and all it's requiring is basically a little bit of my time and effort to make them. So I'm very pleased with the outcome. They're quite robust and sturdy, and if they're anything like the marquee, they should last for quite a number of years.